That are here. I'm Gwen Ramkupa, the Treasurer General of the African National Congress, and the ANC delegation is led by the first TSG, Nomvula, and we are here to extend the words of condolences, the passing away of who would also fondly call our president, Sam Nujoma, with whom the ANC and through whom and many others, the ANC was in the trenches with SWAPO during the colonial apartheid regime because Namibia was also colonized. I was just sharing with His Excellency and the team here that we were also together in the trenches at the Kwetokono Valley moment, the decisive moment that led to the liberation of Namibia. Mine is just to facilitate our visit, His Excellency Ambassador and First Deputy and the High Commission of Namibia to South Africa. Our brothers and sisters, we are here as the ANC, NEC members. I will ask them to introduce themselves one by one, and I'll then hand over to Comrade TSG Mokonyane to extend the condolences on all our behalf. From this, also your title.
High Commissioner is the Chaplain General of the African National Congress. I've got some health. Our condolences.
That's Reverend Tsele. Yeah, Dr. Tsele.
I'm David Makura, the member of the National Executive Committee.
The head of the political school of the ANC nationally.
Excellency, I'm Dan Hatton, National Convener of Congress Liberation Battalion.
He's the only one that properly introduced himself. So far.
Excellency, my name is Loiso Masuku. I am the Deputy Secretary of the ANC in Johannesburg. I also serve in the City Council in the Mayoral Committee of Johannesburg.
Thank you. Okay, who's next? We'll go that side.
Your Excellency, you've already met DSG. Good afternoon. I am Pat Flass, the General Manager of the ANC.
Mama, you're part of our delegation, yes.
Thank you. I'm Frank Chikane. I'm a member of the National Executive Committee of the Veterans League, and I'm here on behalf of the President of the Veterans League.
Thank you. He's also the chairperson of the Integrity Commission, so we are most behaved when he's around. Just before the young man. I know.
You remain young to us.
My name is Desiree Makubel. I'm here on behalf of the ANC Provincial Executive Committee.
Yeah, he is the chief whip of the ANC and spokesperson. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Excellency, and members of the office, including both the Deputy Excellency. My name is Mahlengi Bengu. I am a member of the ANC's National Executive Committee, as well as the appointed national spokesperson.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can I hand over to Madam and the ambassador, and the team will then respond. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Comrade TG, Comrade Dr. Gwen Ramkupa, Excellency, members of the
National Executive Committee and representatives of the people of Namibia. We're here on behalf of the African National Congress, your sister organization, to come and convey our sincere condolences on the passing on of the father of the Namibian nation, our own president, fondly now called by the younger generation Utatomkhulu. We're here to convey our condolences. We have been in touch with yourselves, with the comrades at the headquarters of SWAPO, but also with his immediate family through his grandchildren, who we worked with when SWAPO was running the campaign over the past few months, updating us on the conditions of Comrade Sam Nujoma. On behalf of the ANC, led by President Ramaphosa, we felt that it was quite important that in as much as we may not be traveling to Namibia now, we should come to the Namibia House here today to come and pay our condolences. Condolences that also affirm our strong relationship, and that what has befallen the people of Namibia and SWAPO in particular has affected us. We are here today on a very important day in the history of the liberation movement, a day where we remember the release of Comrade President Nelson Mandela, who has also gone to rest. And this is going to be a very historic day moving forward, that we came to the home of the Namibian people to come and pay condolences on a leader that worked with our President Tambo to direct the liberation struggle away from home on behalf of the people of Namibia, the same as what President Tambo has done, pursuing a struggle outside of South Africa, guiding those that are inside the country in prison, and those that laid their lives. We indeed are saying this is the end of an era. It's the end of an era, but we are all blessed that we still are part of that relationship, and hence we can sit together in this particular fashion. Our bond must not end with the passing on of Utatomkhulu, but it must be strengthened because they are now together, and we should actually continue to pursue their own cause of uniting our people in our different countries, but also of strengthening our people-to-people relationship between Namibia and South Africa. We also, on behalf of the ANC, want to convey a message that says, in their honor, both President Tambo and President Sam Nujoma, we need to work together on what is quite important, the economic emancipation of our people. Something that he championed very fondly on different occasions, the issue of land, which we are now also as a country dealing with. The experience of the people of Namibia, led by SWAPO under his stewardship, is something that has informed the manner in which we are handling this matter. We know it's a difficult one, and in his honor, in his memory, we would want to make sure that a just and an equitable process of land redistribution and restitution in our country takes a form and shape that is similar to how he championed the Namibian cause. Excellency, we also want to say on behalf of the African National Congress, we are duty bound to make sure that the legacy doesn't die. And that's why Comrade TG was also referring to Comrade Makura on the issues of political education. That in our path of organizational renewal, we need to tell the story of a relationship of SWAPO and the African National Congress, to an extent that we were amongst the last to be housed by the Cubans in the island of youth. The Namibian SWAPO young people and the ANC young people who who were trained and developed in Cuba together. And when the Namibians left South Africa, the ANC was the last. And what was important, it was again Comrade Sam Nujoma that said to the South African youth in the island of youth in Cuba, your time is coming very soon. And it happened. And therefore, part of what we have to convey as the ANC to yourselves, that in his honor, in their memory, let's rebuild and renew the relationship between SWAPO and the ANC. Let's make sure that we share the legacy and we also protect that legacy so that then generations to come can have an appreciation of how close and how related we are as the African National Congress, together with your good selves. We know, as a matter of fact now, in my conversation with President Cyril Ramaphosa, as we were discussing our visit here, one of the things that he said was also very remarkable is that here we see Namibia soon to have a female president. And we must remember what President Sam Nujoma said, that don't worry, African National Congress, very soon. So we hope that soon will again also come into this, yes, we'll work together on it. Which was very interesting when the president said, we must remind them that when he said, don't worry, the African National Congress, together we'll make sure that you come home very soon. So we also are celebrating that, though he will not observe the inauguration, but it happened in his time. That SWAPO and Namibia made history. Condolences once more, and I'm going to invite our chaplain general first, that he leads us in prayer, Comrade TG, understanding also the passion that Comrade Sam Nujoma had and his strong faith that we have a prayer. But before that happens, I would wish to hand over to yourself so that members of the media can know who is with us here from the people of Namibia.
Excellency Ngiwete, thank you, my brother, for the welcome, and over to you. Thank you for the hospitality so far. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade First DSG, for leading such a powerful delegation of all the colleagues. We are lucky to say that they are all familiar faces. But it's very important that you have come to share with us in our small way on this South African soil the passing of our comrade Dr. Sam Nujoma. He has left, but left as a happy man. He saw that Namibia is free and forever free. He laid the foundation for our people who are today enjoying the fruits of his achievements. You talk about peace, you talk about stability, you talk about justice. Every sense of the word that we are really enjoying the freedom of Namibia. He put us on the firm condition, on the firm foundation for economic emancipation. We are still struggling to achieve that. Freedom and independence is all what we have achieved so far, but economic emancipation, I think we are still a long way to achieve. We have things like unemployment, things like poverty. We are struggling to overcome that. Thank you so much for coming, because Sam Nujoma, in his own way, he has unite Namibian people, not only Namibian people, but Southern Africa and Africa at large. He is a Pan-Africanist. He really now joined his peers who have departed before him. You mentioned Kwame Nkrumah, Kenneth Kaunda, Julius Nyerere, Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, and so the list is quite long. I think they look upon us now, for those who have left behind, to see to it that we complete their ideal, their revolutionary spirit will continue to guide us in the future. So we are celebrating his life, his well-lived, and he departed. I said at the beginning that he left us a free and a happy man for the future, not only for Namibia, but for Africa as a whole. ANC and the Africa and the SWAPO, I don't need to repeat what you have said. You have said it all. We were in the same trenches all over the world. In Cuba, I think I remember very well those colleagues who were with us in Congo in '74 or something like that. Everywhere, and let alone in Kitokwanevala. So this is put us together, bound us together, and we continue the struggle for economic emancipation. We must make sure that peace and stability is prevailed in our country, because that is a very expensive commodity to lose. So thank you very much for coming, and we will inform you as they are making arrangements on the ground. How long will be the mourning period? We still have to be informed, but we are together in this. And thank you so much for coming on behalf of many South Africans who are not be able to be with us here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Humphrey. We've just conferred with the first GSG that his peers, his peer must speak before, or Babon Sam Nujoma's peer must speak before Umfundisi Atandas, before Umfundisi prays. The representative of the ANC Veterans League, Muriti Frank Chikan, if you could say one or two words with the permission of the head of the delegation.
With the instruction.
I know we always do this to you, but this is your peer.
And the MK chief.
We thought you were also MK.
Yeah. But he represents us. And, thank you very much for this opportunity, DSG and TG, Ambassador, and all the colleagues in the embassy. Maybe this is not the time to talk about the history, because it will be very long. But we are not peers in the sense that we are young. When the president led, we were young people, and we followed the struggle together, and we were in the trenches together. I happened to be in the country, those who were outside the country came speak about that, but we acted in solidarity with Namibia. We acted like one country. We were oppressed by the same system. And I just want to say one thing that will remain in my heart and in my history, which can't be taken away. When we were in that struggle, there was an event organized for us to go to Namibia and go and support the struggle there. And I was stopped at the airport by the South African security police, and they gave me an order that bans me from entering Namibia. It was very funny. That is the South Africans who gave the order not to enter Namibia. That banning order is still in one of the books. I've kept it to say I can't enter Namibia. I was going to speak there as a guest speaker. So I returned from the airport and we recorded the message and sent it there so that they could share that message. But it didn't come to an end, Ambassador. When 435 was implemented, I thought the banning order doesn't apply anymore. And so we got on the plane to go to Namibia, and that's when they made sure you think you are clever, you put the chemicals in your clothes. And then that morning from the city trying to go to the north, that's when my trip ended there. I'm sharing this not because it's the most important, but it's just to indicate the linkages, the struggles together, the fact that we're in the trenches together. And we were able to achieve our liberation, and you went first,
Yes.
and we followed. The struggle is not over. With what is happening in the United States, it's not for me to talk about it. But we are going back to the colonial slavery period. That's where we are getting back to the rights of people don't matter, power determines what happens. It's almost we're going back where we were. And then I just want to say, with the president leaving us, it's an indication of what's happening now, that the struggle is not over. And if ever this should remind us that we should start from where we ended and make sure that people are free and liberated. Thank you.
Thank you. Comrade Tato, Mfundisi says he has left the portion of MK to you.
Thank you, PSG. Thank you, TG, Excellency, my Commissioner, and the Deputy, people of Namibia, members of the NEC who are here. A lot has been said. You've said a lot at DSG in terms of this synergy between our people and the people of Namibia. I'm not going to be long except to say that it is important sometimes that to confirm the fact that what we are seeing here is not for propaganda, but these are real issues that happened. When I was a commander in Vienna, 10-20 kilometers from Luanda, we shared the same street with the Swapo camp. We used to play football on Sundays. We used to get into a truck and go to the beach. It was a big thing for us to go to the beach because most of the time we're in the camp. Relationships happened. I know for a fact some of the relationships ended in Lusaka, where there were marriages. I'm sure the comrades would recall that there was a college in Lusaka where SWAPO comrades would go and study. You know, sometimes our comrades would also be admitted into that. It's just one of the anecdotes in the years. Comrade Sam, whenever he is in Rwanda, and it happens that Comrade OR is also in Rwanda, definitely they will also meet, because our residence was in the same street where we shared an office with SWAPO, same block of offices. So the bond that everybody has referred to here is not just, as I said, propaganda. These are things that happen. When we talk of sharing trenches with our SWAPO comrades, we talk of irreality. When SWAPO went back home before us, some of their assets were left with us. That's how strong is our bond with the people of Namibia. So the passing of President Sam Nujoma really has hit hard on us. As we said, DSG, Tatomkhulu has gone. Our Tatomkhulu has gone. It's not just Tatomkhulu for Namibia, it's our Tatomkhulu. I know for a fact that Comrade Sam, humble as he was, you know, we used to see him sometimes when he's in Angola. He would make it a point that he visits the beach in the morning, you know, go to the beach. And then you would never say that this is a president of the liberation movement, the way he was so humble when they meet him.
Really?
Yes. So this is the struggle that we're talking about, the sharing of trenches that we're talking about. And Comrade Frank has said, you know, we think that it is the beginning of our struggle now. When the president said that South Africa is not going to be bullied, Comrade Sam Nujoma started it long time ago when there was a Kasinga massacre. He said, you know, SWAPO people are not going to be bullied. And people of Namibia got their independence despite all those massacres. So these are giants that we need to emulate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The wisdom of the pastor. His Excellencies, the relationship with Namibia did not stop with the liberation struggle. If you allow me, DSG, I'll ask David Makura just to reflect, especially when he was Premier of Gauteng, and also politically. He'll be the last to share before we pray.
Thank you very much, Comrade TG, Comrade DSG, my brother Ambassador. I only just want to reflect on the relationship that the province of Gauteng has with the region, Erongo region in Namibia, which is born out of the political relationship of the two countries in the struggle. And those, when I had the honor to serve as the Premier of Gauteng, we worked very closely together with Ambassador Ngwete, and signed a sisterhood agreement between the two regions out of that, which still is very strong today. Premier Lisufi and Governor Neville, who's the governor of Erongo. The two regions still exchange programs. One very specific, exceptional moment I will remember is when the late President Hage Geingob organized the first Invest in Namibia conference. So we co-organized that Invest in Namibia conference together. He came here, we hosted him. And the business delegation that went to Namibia after that, Gauteng business people, was a very big delegation. And that Invest in Namibia conference is still taking place every year. And there are South African business people who still go there every year. I think it was in 2016, the first inaugural conference, Invest in Namibia. So the economic ties between Namibia and South Africa are very, very strong, and between Erongo and Gauteng province are very, very strong. So basically it's part of carrying on the legacy started by our forebears, President Oliver Tambo and President Nujoma, and Toivo on Robben Island with Nelson Mandela. And all we can say is that wherever we work, we would like this relationship to manifest itself. And I think this is a very good example of how the relationship can be taken forward also in government. I was speaking to my sister, the Deputy Secretary of Johannesburg, that even at city level, there is a lot that we can do together. And I'm confident that our comrades in local government will also be doing that. So thank you very much for those few words. It was completely unexpected.
Thank you very much. I think Comrade DSG is responsible for also international relations. She's also responsible for the school in Tanzania that SWAPO is also part of, as much as the African National Congress. Morocco, yes, in Morocco. Yes. There's a lot of history. We hope that whilst the commission or the Namibian embassy is here, we will also encourage young people, writers and academics to capture this rich history of a people divided by colonialists, by apartheid, fought together in trenches for liberation and continuing to build on the democracies for ultimate emancipation with a shared prosperity for all our generations to come, all our countries. We're in it together. I think from my side, there were lots of young people who studied with, who were part of our own South African liberation movement. Damasep, Twirap, they were doctors, they went back to Namibia under SWAPO, and also the Ministry of Health, we worked together in the World Health Organization, and so forth and so forth. The rich history is there. Let us capture it as part of the legacy of President Dr. Sam Nujoma. May his spirit inspire us to fight on. It's not yet Uhuru. Mufundis.
Thank you very much.
Should we start?
No, not now.
Okay.
The TG Program Director, DSG, High Commissioner, and Deputy. Maybe the Secretary General will also recall that around 1989, just on the verge of Namibia's independence and the release of Dr. Mandela, we traveled to Cuba and went to the island of youth. And the Cubans had donated boarding schools, almost side by side. There was an ANC boarding school and a SWAPO boarding school. And the young people there grew up together. And the camaraderie, the comradeship really goes very far. In around 1980s, when we intensified the struggle against apartheid in South Africa with Reverend Chikane, and we ended up writing a document called the Kairos document. We then had a conference, and we were all looking for one person we can invite to that conference. We agreed on a Namibian theologian called Zefania Kamieta. And we had a wonderful moving service at Regina Mundi in Soweto. So from the church side, we drew inspiration from Namibia. And also then, even in the trenches, as it is said. before I pray, I just want to reflect very shortly on one verse in the Bible. You find it in John 15, and it is verse 15. And in it, it says, no greater love is there than for a man to lay down his life for his comrades. And when I heard about the passing of comrade Nujoma, my mind, that verse came to me, that here is an example of people who had such great love for their nation, for their people, that they were prepared to lay down their lives for that. And the English verse doesn't want to say comrades, it just says for his friends. We know that friends is comrades. Yeah, so it is really, it's really a rich relationship that we should never lay down. I'm glad that DSG has reminded our principal of political education that some of our causes must actually link up these experiences. That is not just, we were just South Africans in the trenches. As the church activists, we read what the Namibians were doing, and it inspired us. High Commissioner, allow me therefore to ask all of us to bow our heads. You can be seated as we firstly observe a moment of silence in memory of this stalwart that our president has described as a father of the liberation movement. Creator God, we thank you for the life of Sam Nujoma, for the example he has been as a leader, for his dedication to the liberation of his people. May we at this moment plead on you to accompany him into his resting place, and may the saints and ancestors welcome him in the cloud of saints as one who indeed deserves the crown, who has ran his race. Amen.
Amen.